YouTube went through a little update. That's crazy. It looks different.
So, I mean, you guys can probably tell, but today's not gonna be a normal stream. Not gonna, watch videos or play games or anything today.
Same here. Yeah, we're covering this story.
I kind of just have a bunch of stuff that I wanted to talk about, and then I'm probably just gonna go offline after.
Dude,
But
look at all
yeah,
those
it's
damn Kirby's in the background.
I mean, I like you guys
Like,
know.
look at all those.
I've been streaming for 10 years. Last week was kind of the first time that I ever really like spoke about a topic or like something that happened to me. And honestly, I'm really glad that I did, and I'm proud that I did. And I feel like I have to see it to its conclusion, if that makes sense. Not just for myself, but for, in a way, I kind of feel like a lot of people are involved because it doesn't just affect me. So that's why, sorry about my voice. I'm very, very nervous in case you can't tell. But I knew that this stream,
Oh yeah, before also this came about earlier last week, somebody tried to sexually assault Emiru at TwitchCon, and there wasn't really much done about it until people, thank goodness, they got a video of it and posted it, and Twitch executives got a hold of it, and they're like, damn it, okay, we got to do something about it. And then they finally did something about it, but they issued an apology tweet, and also they're gonna be they found the guy who did it. They know who did it. They issued him a 30-day ban, which, to be honest, ooh, that was worrisome. Anyway, so that also happened. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to be talking about the other stuff. I think she's going to be talking about a little bit what happened at TwitchCon as well. So
had to be done today. So yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I guess might as well get started.
if you're wondering what I'm doing, I have this hernia right here. So it's an intestine that's like poking out of my abdominal wall. I think that's a hernia, right? So it's an intestine that's poking out of my abdominal wall, and I have to get it checked out, but I don't have insurance, health insurance, so I'm just kind of like dealing with it. I'm just kind of like using my fingers, and I'm just like pushing it back in. So whenever you see me like that, that means I'm having a hard time. But anyway, carry on.
Not, stall too much or anything. I know there's a lot of people here who don't normally watch, and if you're wondering, yes, I do normally run 20-minute intros. And yes, my community at least claims that they like it. I think that they like it. I like playing songs for you guys, but anyway, yeah, anyway. We don't like it? Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, I'm probably gonna stop reading chat now as well, but I mean, you guys are free to say whatever you want, obviously. So, yeah, like I said before, it's been a pretty crazy week, and a lot of things have happened since the last time that I streamed in relation to what I talked about last week, the whole TwitchCon incident. Some other things happened that kind of pushed me to talk about a lot of things that I want to talk about today. So as you can see, I wrote out my notes, and not only that, I have even more notes. So yeah, if it seems like I'm like reading a script or something, it's because I wrote super detailed notes because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. So yeah.
She's steaming right now.
So, I think everyone knows about last week, the stuff that happened at TwitchCon.
Yep.
I was assaulted, and the guy was able to leave the venue, basically. Okay, so like intro first thing that I want to talk about is I did.
The crazy thing about that is that there was another incident at, I think, a TwitchCon event, and Twitch security didn't do anything either, but Emiru's personal security held the dude, like, just held him and made him stay put until the cops arrived. And I guess that that bodyguard was banned from any Twitch event, like not banned from the venue that it was at or anything like that, any Twitch event whatsoever, which is it's a little whatever. But now, because she didn't want to hold any bodyguards accountable for any BS this time, all they did this time was that they just kind of pushed him and told him to get the fuck out of here. And that's all that happened. And Twitch security didn't do anything. They let the dude walk free, whatever. But luckily they got the dude on camera, because like I said, somebody was filming the incident. Well, they were filming Emiru, but then that happened, and then, you know, whatever. But yeah, so that's why he was able to get away physically. But they found the dude. Emiru's going to press charges. They can't talk about who it is or whatever at this time for legal purposes, but I'm pretty sure. And he's also a Twitch streamer as well. It's unclear if he's a big dude or just like medium-sized streamer or just a low-tier streamer just like me or whatever. But yeah, like those details are unclear. But anyway.
See the Twitch tweet that I believe went out yesterday. I was literally in a Discord call with my friends, and they were like, "Did you see that Twitch apologized to you?" And I was like, "Wait, what?" So yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is they put out that tweet. I was never apologized to privately. They put that out without like consulting me or anything. I didn't know that they were gonna do that, so that was yeah. I mean, I'm glad that, you know, they're trying to like take some level of accountability, but there's a lot of things that they didn't mention in the tweet that I feel like should have been mentioned. But anyway, more stuff's been happening behind the scenes. So I want to say that last week, everything I said on my stream was accurate, obviously, except for one thing. I was wrong about one thing. I was going over the tweet that Twitch initially put out, where they're like, "Oh yeah, this thing happened to a high-profile creator. You know, police were on site. We're cooperating with law enforcement investigations." What I was wrong about was they were not cooperating with law enforcement investigations. I found that out on Monday when I got a phone call from the San Diego police, and they were talking to me, and they basically said, "Hey, we can't really do anything right now because they apparently know the name of the guy, but they're not giving it to us until a warrant goes through." Which, if you know anything about that.
So anyway, Twitch is protecting the guy because they're trying to. So pretty much what they're saying, or what Emmy's saying, is that Twitch will not release the information to the police department until the police department gets a search warrant. And as soon as they get that search warrant, then they're able to comply. So really, they're just delaying the process here on Twitch. Good morning, Marceline. Good morning. Good morning. So really, like, Twitch is really just trying to delay the investigation process, which is really shady on their part. because somebody got sexually assaulted, and they're like, well, we're not going to cooperate with you until you know. So really, it's I'm pretty sure it's Twitch's lawyers too, because they're trying as much as they can to kind of keep this under the rug as much as possible. But I just think it's just kind of a shitty thing to do. Like, if they know who it is, they're not releasing the information until the police get their, you know, get the proper documentation so they can cooperate, which is it's an inevitability. It's an inevitability. So yeah, it's a mess.
Stuff. It usually takes a while. Even you know, if it's expedited, which it was being expedited for me, but it still takes a lot of time. And they're like, yeah, they're refusing to give us the name, which as far as I'm aware is like a very common company thing, where they'll be, you know, they don't want to give out names of potential people involved in crimes, because then like that person could maybe like sue them for giving their name to police. I don't know, something like that. That's what my lawyer.
She's putting it very lightly, because she doesn't really want to say these things in particular about Twitch in a negative connotation, because she doesn't want Twitch to, I don't know, like deplatform her or whatever. Like, she doesn't want to be a liability to get Twitch in trouble. So she has to say that that's what Emmy's lawyer is saying, or manager. It's what the lawyer's saying anyway to Emmy. It's like, hey, just try not to, you know, ruffle some feathers in the higher ups in Twitch, so you can still have a platform. Yada yada yada.
Lawyer said, but basically they were Twitch was trying to make sure that the guy that assaulted me didn't sue them, which meant that the police were not able to work on the case right away.
Why would the guy that would assault Emmy sue Twitch? That's what I'm not. I think she was told information, but I think she's getting some of the information jumbled around a little bit.
So yeah, I got a call about that on, I believe it was Monday, from the San Diego police. They were like, yeah, we're working on the warrant, but like right now, that's like all we can really do, but like we're trying our best. Just like want to let you know, we're gonna keep in the loop and everything. I was like, okay. I was very frustrated because I was like, damn, like I didn't know that on Saturday. I would have said that if I knew. And then I believe it was the next day, there was someone who, I don't know if they were a viewer or if they were just someone who like knew of the situation from social media. They contacted my manager, and they basically told her that at their place of work, someone came into their work who matched the description of the guy, and this person was saying like, oh, I'm, you know, traveling to Texas, and I caused like quite a stir at a TwitchCon. And this person, like, you know, reached out to my manager, reached out to police, San Diego police interviewed them. But basically what I'm trying to say is, because all this stuff was delayed, this guy was able to get really far away from San Diego, allegedly. And this whole time my manager was like, basically like begging Twitch, like, dude, like, please give us his name.
Just
like,
give the name.
We don't know who this person is. Like, for all we know, he like lives around where Emmy and her roommates live. Like, I can't like help her if like I don't know who this person is, and they were refusing to do it. But after that tip from the person who said that the guy came into their workplace and was talking to him, my manager demanded the info from Twitch. So they did end up giving it to police, but not my manager, as far as I know. She still doesn't. Yeah. So.
So after he was able to go to where he lives, which is outside of, I think where was TwitchCon, California, which is outside of California. So technically, it's a state issue, and really, there's no charges that can be pressed against this guy, because he is no longer in California. He's back to where he lives in Texas.
The investigation's still going on, but it's like been a huge mess because of all of the delays and like refusal to work.
And that's exactly what Twitch was trying to do to avoid all that.
Work with the police. And yeah, it's ongoing. I can't like say too much about it. Like all this that I'm saying, obviously I like ran by my lawyer and stuff. And I do want you guys to know that Melissa has been making sure that, you know, me and my roommates, who are obviously other pretty well-known girl streamers, that we have been safe here, paying for like security stuff, making sure we're protected. Again, my manager's been taking care of that all on her own. Twitch did not offer anything like that. And yeah, that's where it is right now, pretty much. I can't say like too much about what, you know, me and my lawyer are doing, but my hope is really that there's some kind of like public resolutions that people who like have seen this and like know about everything that's happened can feel better about it. Because like I said, I don't feel like it's just about me. Like it could have been anyone that it happened to, like a small streamer who's not as lucky to have the resources or like, you know, the reach that I have. So it's very scary and yeah, just very, very frustrating. And yeah, I don't know where that's gonna go. I'm sure that, you know,
There nothing can happen. It's a state issue. It's not like it's not a countrywide issue. This happened in the state of California, and the guy went home to Texas, and he's safe there because he didn't commit the crime in Texas. He committed the crime in California. Now, if he were to show his face in California, let's say he just get pulled over like for like a, you know, for any reason, doesn't matter. If he got pulled over and they the police ran his name, the investigation is still ongoing at that point until whenever they decide to drop the case. He will still have a warrant out for his arrest in the state of California. So as long as the dude stays in Texas, I guess that's where he lives, or wherever he lives. I don't know. Unless he stays where he's at, then, you know, there's no charges that can be pressed against him.
oh, they're probably, I would speculate, not very happy with me for talking about all this, but I feel like it's not fair to keep it hidden from all the people who literally had to witness it because of Twitter and Reddit and all these things. I mean, I'm not complaining about that, obviously. You guys know I was super grateful that the guy posted it, got, you know, spread around so that I didn't have to figure out how to talk about it myself. But yeah, I'm just, it's a lot. It's been really heavy this week, but obviously I've been getting a lot of support from my friends and other streamers, and obviously my manager, the people that I work with, my employees and such. But yeah, I don't want to just let this be a thing that I think that they're hoping it just blows over and gets like swept under the rug.
Of course, that's what they're hoping for.
I'm not gonna, you know, go live every stream and complain about it, like, oh, you know, I got done dirty. I'm not gonna do that, but I'm gonna try to the best of my ability, keep you guys updated until there's like some kind of resolution, you know. So
yeah, there'll be a payout. They'll give you some nice shut up money for it. That's what ultimately what it's gonna end up coming to.
Yeah, pretty heavy, intense stuff. Yeah, it's been. Sorry, I'm just looping myself now. But yeah, I would hate if like this kind of just went away and people were like, oh, what happened? You know, I don't know. You know, am I gonna go to TwitchCon next year? And, you know, like if something happens to me, it's gonna, you know, they're gonna try to hide it, basically.
And that's the thing too, for smaller streamers. I mean, Emmy was like, I think she was like either in the top 5 or the top 10 most anticipated streamers to be visited there. So if they try to sweep this under the rug with somebody like Emmy, imagine what it's going to be like for a lower tier streamer. You know, like what if it was you, Marceline? You know, what if you made a little appearance and you had a little following it or whatever, and something like that happened to you, and because you're not really that well known, Twitch is gonna be like, oh, whatever, you know. Like, what if nobody caught video footage of it as well? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's a crazy thing. It's so, I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. So there's that. Give me a second. I have some more stuff I want to talk about, but I'm trying to not rush myself because I'm trying my best to, like, you know, stay composed to the best of my ability.
Spit it out at me.
So that I can get to the information across accurately. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for, you know, support and stuff. Like, honestly, it's been shocking to me, because, I don't know. I guess, like, whenever things happen, I always just kind of expect the bare minimum outcome, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I've just been very, very thankful. Very thankful and, very grateful, and, I hope that, you know, whatever comes out of this makes other people feel better. But regardless, like I said, I'm,
What they're gonna do is they're gonna increase a little more security. They're gonna give Emmy a payout for some shut up money, and the dude's gonna be suspended. He's already suspended for only 30 days from the platform, but I mean, hopefully he's deleted off the platform completely. Depending on how far this goes, if it becomes a bigger issue, then, you know, I don't know. If it's a bigger issue, yes, most likely he's going to be completely banned from the platform, going to be sent to the shadow realm. But if not, then he's just going to serve his 30-day ban, and hopefully you learned your lesson, which is the dumbest thing ever, to be honest.
I'm done with going to TwitchCon. Probably done entirely with convention streams. I feel like
I don't blame you.
it's just time, you know. And I think that's probably true for a lot of streamers. The climate has, you know, really changed. I've been on Twitch for 10 years, like, you know, I keep fucking repeating myself recently. And yeah, it's changed a lot, gone pretty big. And I think that's just, you know, the reality that you have to accept. But, you know, maybe it's not a bad thing, because, you know, you can go back to rotting playing games in your room. It's not so bad, right? Retirement? No. Not retirement.
We got ads in
Definitely
45
not.
seconds.
Because I'm the kind of person, I'll never give up. You're not gonna make me give up. So, yeah. Oh. Fortunately, I'm not
Damn,
done
she
yet.
just ripped the fucking... Damn. She ripped out the thing off her
just give me a
notebook.
bit.
She
Was worried you're gonna
nervous.
quit? No. And I don't think I'm gonna go to any other platforms because, I mean, first of all, where would I go?
You can go to Kick.
And second of all, I really think that, you know, this is something that was just, I mean, this is just
Or
me, you know,
YouTube.
being
Kick or
optimistic,
YouTube.
but
Yeah, see,
I feel like it was
everybody's
just a case of, like, you know, we
everybody's
didn't
typing Kick or
realize
YouTube.
that these things could happen. and we obviously don't want them to happen, and like, you know, things will be better. And I mean, I'm not gonna leave you guys because of, you know, something that someone else did. I mean, yeah, there's like other places that, you know, I upload content, but Twitch is like really my home. That's why through all of this, I feel like most people, you know, I did make a tweet, but like it was,
I mean, that's
probably like 10% of what I needed to say.
And that's the thing too. Yeah, Emmy doesn't want to leave Twitch, and neither does Asmongold, even though Asmongold has his fair share of you know, disagreements with the platform and stuff like that. But even though he multi streams to Kick and whatever, I think another platform too. But I think it's just primarily Twitch and Kick. But yeah, they don't want to leave because it's what they grew up doing. It was their home, and it's still going to be their home. Who knows what it's going to be in the future? I mean, Twitch might end up banning Emmy for whatever reason, or even Asmongold for whatever reason. So we'll see. We'll see. Come on.
Tweet, make a YouTube video. That's why I've chosen to do all of this live and like raw, because it's just what I'm most comfortable with and what I've always done. So yeah. Oh, sorry, my like emotional voice is so ugly. Yeah. I don't know. It's just crazy. I just never thought things like this would happen, or I'd ever be doing a stream like this. It just feels very strange because it's just very out of my element. I've never really, like, for the most part, commented on drama or like self-inserted in situations, but I guess in this situation I'm kind of like stuck in the middle of it against my will. So it's like if I don't do it, who else is gonna do it? I'm just gonna take a second. Sorry, I've said that like 4 times, but this is it's a lot. I hate drama streams. Me too, man. Bro, like, I could have come home. I could have worked on beating Cinna and Clint's fucking Mega Bonk scores. Now look what I have to do. So fucking annoying. I had to cancel my plans. Which reminds me, I don't think there's gonna be a Halloween stream this year. I don't think that's realistic with kind of the vibes of things right now. But
I mean, to be fair, it is a little spooky.
Everyone will be mad at me if I do like, you know, like a Halloween in November thing. Or I mean, there's always next year, right? I mean, she might still do it. Yeah, I mean, things happen outside of your control. So yeah.
Okay, spill it. Come on.
It's just crazy, but I mean, thank you guys for listening to me talk and complain. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. So, the next thing, at the end of my last stream, I said that when I got home, I would be talking about some other things that I really, really did not want to talk about. But
here it is.
I feel like those things, developing independently of their own from the TwitchCon incident, have gone to a point where I kind of feel like I have no choice. So I've already seen a lot of people speculating about what I'm going to be talking about, and some people have been right, but even for the people who were right, they were only like 5 to 10% right.
The ones that were 5 to 10% right were only putting together the puzzle because she did a she did a traveling stream like with her and like two of her other streamer friends, and it was on the way to the TwitchCon, and something got brought up, like something about relationships or something like that, and then Emmy got very weirdly uh, and awkwardly emotional randomly. Like there wasn't anything too indicating about it, but you could definitely tell that there was something in the back of her mind, and then it just like overtook her emotions, and she got a little weird. I didn't see the clip; I just only heard about it. I don't know, maybe maybe somebody clipped it or something like that. Maybe I could take a look at it a little bit later, but for now I'm just going off of what I heard. So anyway, the people that did speculate it, and the reason why they were only 5 to 10% right on it, was just the sheer fact that it was a situation that had something to do with an ex that she had. So
I don't think I've seen a single person online who knew or understood the severity of what I want to talk about today. And I want everyone to be aware that I've been handling the situation very seriously, and I've spent a lot of time thinking this over.
I do apologize for yawning. I just got off work. You know me, I do my streams like literally right after I get off work. Hopefully I don't fall asleep. I'm not drinking. I don't plan to drink throughout the rest of the week. Just trying to get my mind right and clear for things that I'm planning on doing, because I have a lot of plans to do some things. So yeah.
And not only that, I've been in contact with a lawyer. I had them review everything that I'm planning to say today, because I wanted to make sure that if I was going to do this, I was going to do it right, because it's so serious.
Yeah, she doesn't want to seem she doesn't want to deal with like any possible defamation, uh any possible claims of defamation or anything like that that can come back to her negatively.
And I feel like it's going to change things forever. And so today, I'm finally going to be opening up about and telling everyone sorry, I swear I'm not trying to like make this dramatic or something. Like I said, I really wish I were not feeling like I had to do this.
I mean, she's not lying. This is definitely going to change everything. The reason why she's hesitating so much is because she knows what's going to happen as time goes on. We're talking about backlash from the other person. I mean, we all know who it is, right? It's Mizkif. So people from Mizkif's community, harassing her, either in chats or messages or whatever, comments on her clips and YouTube videos and yada yada yada, trying to trash her name and all that stuff. And on top of that, stuff with Mizkif, personal stuff with Mizkif. and she's bringing some stuff to light, and he knows he's not, or she knows he's not gonna take it very well, given their history. But I mean, all that will be explained. So
Just give me some time.
we've given you plenty of time. Spit it, girl.
I'm gonna be doing a lot of, I guess you could say, like, fourth wall breaking in a way, and talking about things that I thought would always be personal, and just, you know, I would just carry them myself. Today, I'm finally gonna be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing. For the entirety of this year, I have attempted to separate myself from him and not talk about him at all, and not talk about this issue, and just not make it a public thing. I always tried my best to keep this to myself, but like I said, I feel like it's gone to the point, which I'll explain later, that I feel like it just has to be done. And I have always believed in not condemning people or starting drama online. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to be asking, why am I doing this and why now? And I would like to explain that before I get started so that people understand what prompted me to do this today, and that it's not just on a whim or something like that. Okay, so like I said, I took a lot of notes, so forgive me if I just end up reading off my notes. The first and probably most severe reason is that one of the rules that I set for myself a long time ago about withholding this information was that if I ever felt like somebody else was in danger or being hurt, I would then make myself speak about it. And 2 weeks ago, actually 3 weeks ago now, I was informed by 3 separate people, one of whom was present for said incident, that he had done something similar to something that he had done to me, and to someone in LA at the end of September. And this person is not a streamer or content creator, but obviously that does not matter. And because of this, I cannot in good conscience sit here knowing that I know critical information about someone that almost no one else does and not say anything. I think that most issues and dramas should stay private and off the internet, and I still hold that belief to this day, and I will hold that belief going forward. However, there are certain things that cross the line, and I say that the line has been crossed too many times to be count. There's a point where I believe that people deserve to know. I think that at a certain point, if you know a lot of things about someone and you don't say anything to look out for others, it's wrong. It's wrong to keep it to yourself. I don't want what happened to me or what has happened to other people because of him to happen to other people. And I don't believe he will ever stop behaving the way he does. But regardless, yeah, like I said, one of the main reasons I decided to do this stream is to come out about all of this, because I can't hold on to it any longer, because it feels wrong to do so. And an honorable mention reason for why I'm doing this is that for a while, he has been indirectly threatening me through my friends and people that I work with. They've informed me that he said that if I ever talked about anything he did, he would try to create a smear campaign against me in retaliation. I was told that he even approached other streamers who were close with us back when we lived together, asking them if they would join with him, and they all refused. At TwitchCon, he approached one of my employees, threatening them and saying if I ever talked about him, he would destroy me. Multiple people have told me that
But it happened at this TwitchCon?
his plan was to claim that I kill animals and that I killed my own rabbits, since I had several of my rabbits pass away over the course of 3 years while I lived with him. I'm sure he's probably listening now, and it's probably going to come as quite a shock to him that this information made its way back to me and that I've known for months. But if you try to threaten me to stay quiet, especially using my poor dead animals, I'm not going to stay quiet. Okay. So now that I've explained all the reasons why this took so long and why I made the decision to do this stream, I have a few more things I would like to get out of the way before I start talking about all of this.
Stop it.
The way that I'm gonna do this today is I'm gonna run through everything from the beginning to the end to try to get across the story as accurately and fully as I can. And, hold on. Hold on. I'm also going to be showing a few screenshots validating what I'm saying. I have more things, but this is what I felt comfortable using today. And I will be running through those later.
You brought receipts.
Another thing that I'd like to mention before I start is that during my statement, I'm going to be mentioning directly the names of about half a dozen other creators who were present for certain things. And I want to say that none of these people did anything wrong. I'm just saying that they were there, and I've asked all of them permission. They all said that it was fine to include their names, but I know this won't stop everyone, but I ask people, for the streamers that I mentioned, please don't go bothering them or asking them for more information. If there's something else that they want to say, they'll say it themselves.
They'll say it on their own.
So there's no point
Yeah.
to go pester them and bother them about it. There are also streamers.
But let's be honest, people are gonna ask, right? I mean, it's just how it is.
Who gave me permission to share things that they relayed to me privately, but asked me to redact their names, which I, of course, did. And the last thing that I want to make clear is that not every person that I interact with or that I'm friends with knew the extent of all of these things. And in fact, most of them didn't. And some of them didn't even know anything at all. I tried to keep things private with my close friends, but if anyone during the past year ever approached me asking questions, I didn't lie and I told them the truth. But yeah, I don't want there to be some kind of witch hunt like, oh, you know, you knew and this, no. A lot of people, you know, didn't know everything or didn't know anything. Okay. I think that's all that I have to get out of the way to start. So, this is public information. I initially moved in. Sorry. I'm still sick, like I said. Okay. This is all public, obviously this part. I moved in with him. I believe it was the end of 2021 because he offered. I was living alone at the time, and I was having stalker issues in Kansas, and I mean, you guys know, like, all the stuff that happened there. I ended up joining the org and everything. We did a lot of streams together, and I mean, a lot of people already know this, but I'm just gonna come out and say it. We started dating. We were in a relationship starting January 2022 after I joined OTK. I'm not planning to go into too much detail about the start of the relationship because it honestly doesn't really matter at this point. It's irrelevant now. The only things that really matter that you guys need to know for the story are that it was, one, an extremely private relationship. It was even hidden from friends and people in the org, but I mean, obviously people all eventually figured it out. They're not fucking stupid. And second, it was an extremely codependent relationship, which it's not the issue, but that's just, you know, making that clear for details. He initially portrayed himself to me as someone who was very nice to girls and wanted to help me feel safe from stalkers. and wanted me to succeed as a teammate. And we grew very close over time. And I was very dependent on him for feelings of safety, social life, like my stream, my job, everything. So yeah, besides it being a very codependent relationship, the start of it was fine. I saw a lot of people mentioning this. They thought this was what I was going to talk about. It's not a secret. I think everyone who paid attention knew that he was very controlling over what I wore, to a degree, who I was friends with, and even when I would stream. So when it was definitely slow over time that bad things started happening. At the start, it would be things like, for example, he would throw bottles, like plastic bottles with liquid in it, not like glass bottles, at me, despite me telling him like I didn't like it and it scared me and I bruise very easily. He would throw his phone at me. I would tell him, it scared me, I don't like it. And one time it even hit me in the eye, which caused me to get a black eye, but he always, was like, oh, it's an accident. And I was like, oh yeah, it's an accident. Like, of course I'm not gonna think that, he's, yeah, I just.
Pretty much what she's saying is that he would throw it in her general direction, but he would always miss her for the most part on purpose. However, he's still throwing shit at her in her direction, whether it be partial bottles of water or the phone or whatever. And I saw his little reply to that, and he just gave like this little weird, like he's like, I'm brushing my teeth, right? And I just tossed the phone. Like, yeah, okay. But like, why would you do that in her direction? Like, there's a little part in you like wanting to hit her with that. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to toss your phone, toss it to any other direction other than at her. Like, what the hell are you doing? Even your bottles of water. Like, come on, man.
At the time.
This is making me sound like a freaking simp, okay? But if you know me, I usually always take the guy's side on a lot of things. But after further research that I've done about Mizkif, I have a better understanding about his character and what he's about, and all that. And I just think, and also from what Asmongold said, because Asmongold's been around for quite a few of the things, and Asmongold pretty much is just saying like, yeah, Mizkif's bullshitting.
I just kind of was, I just brushed it off, and looking back now, I feel like that was kind of the start of him testing my boundaries, if that makes sense. So that was already kind of starting to show signs within the first 6 months of me and him being close. And then, again, a very public situation. The end of 2022, the cover-up allegations happened. I mean, yeah, like I said, all that's public. You can find all that, see like what I said during that, everything. After that happened, his behavior started getting a lot worse, which, I mean, I suppose it makes sense. He was very stressed. A lot of stuff was happening, but the bad behavior was ramping up, and I feel like it's so apparent if like, you go back and watch anything from that time. I tried so hard to help him and be there for him because I really believed in him, and I wanted him to, get better and get back on his feet. And be the person that, you know, I always believed that he was. But that unfortunately did not really happen. For a long time, I think about a year and a half from when that all happened, it was kind of like slow things getting worse. But I mean, honestly, I'm not even gonna bother going into the details of all of that because there's just too much to cover, and it's honestly kind of not really relevant to the rest of what I'm saying because the rest of what I want to say is a lot worse. There was a point where things really took a turn for the worst. Like, it felt like, you know, like a very delicate branch just kind of snapped. So, and again, a lot of people are like vaguely aware of this, but I'll explain it for people who aren't, you know, chronically tapped into all that stuff. So for a long time after the like cover-up allegations happened and he was like starting to kind of struggle on his stream, he never wanted to stream at the same time as me. Like, we really avoided it. And to me at the time it made sense because, you know, I was like, well, of course, like, you know, we share a lot of community members. If we're live at separate times, we're both gonna perform better, you know, it makes sense. But yeah, we were never really live doing the same thing at the same time for a long time, with the exception of like things like events or sponsors or like, you know, just special things.
Right.
For a very long time. And a lot of you guys probably noticed that I would only usually stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. That was because of him. And now I stream whenever I want, but the first time that we ever streamed at the same time was for the 2024 Rust Kingdoms event on Twitch. We were sharing drops, so it was the first time in a very long time that we were both going to be live at the same time doing the same thing, basically. I know you're probably like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? But it'll make sense in a bit.
Just bear with her.
So I'm live, he's live, we're both streaming, and like I said, you can go find all of this. This is public. There are clips of this. We're both streaming the Rust event, and I thought it was going really well. I thought everyone was having fun. I was like, oh, this is great. Everyone's, you know, doing the same thing at the same time. We're all hanging out. You know, we're gonna have fun. Like, I was really, really excited. And then I start seeing in my chat people start saying unofficial Miz raid, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then I check my Discord messages,
Unofficial
and he's
Miz
messaging
raid.
me. He's saying like, Emmy,
Pretty much he left his stream and or he stopped streaming, and the people that were watching his stream ended up just going to Emmy's stream.
you know, I'm gonna kill myself. I waited, or I'm gonna KMS. I waited so long for this, etc. And basically he was upset because
I'm not laughing at that because she actually said the full term and then she fixed it to KMS. That's what I was laughing about, not the fact that he was saying that he was going to off himself. But yeah, so he got depressed and he ended his stream, and so all his viewers just ended up going to Emmy's.
I had higher viewership than him. That's literally it. I had higher viewership than him. And like I said, this is during an event, so there were drops. Like, everyone knows when there's drops, like, it's not even fucking real. But yeah, he starts messaging me. He's
I don't
really
even know
upset.
what drops are, dude.
I tried to tell him, I was like, bro, you should come back and play. Everyone's having fun. Everyone's like wondering where you are. But yeah, he ended his stream. And then I'm still alive, you know, trying to act like nothing's wrong. And in that house, I had a glass door so I could like see this was happening. He was walking behind me, making sure that I knew he was there. And by the way, so there were many ways out of that house if he wanted to leave the house that were closer to his stream room. He intentionally chose the door that was right by my room.
That was conveniently close to you so he could get a little attention.
I feel like that's pretty apparent, at least to me.
Yeah.
He starts walking behind my stream and slamming the door so loud that my noise gate can pick it up. So even people on my stream are able to hear this is happening. And he slams it so hard and so many times that the front door literally broke. The lock did not work anymore. It didn't work for months, and it would just make this horrible sound that I would have to hear like every fucking day. But anyway, so I hear him back there doing this, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I tell my stream, I'm like, hey, guys, I'll be right back. I get up and I go talk to him, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, Emmy, like, I hate all of you guys. Like, all you guys do is just take from me, and like, I'm just done. Like, I'm just done. And I was like, is this like really happening because of Rush drops? And he was like, I don't know what else to do. He was like going off on me, like basically saying that he hated me. And I was like, well, I don't know what to do now. And he was like, go finish your stream so that people don't know anything's wrong. And
so pretty much he was looking at Emmy's numbers and he got butthurt that Emmy was being more successful at the stream than he was, got depressed, made it about him, stormed off outside the house to the door that was closest to her so she would know what he was doing, so he can get a little attention from that and all that stuff, and started slamming the door, not once, not like a quick open and close. Apparently he slammed it quite a few times, causing Emmy to leave her stream and just to see what's going on. And you know, he's just pretty much saying, you know, all everybody ever does is just take from him, and he's just jealous about other people's success over his, especially the girl that he's secretly dating, and which is Emmy, right? And like, look, I get it. I have a lot of streamer friends that are. Welcome back, Yuki. It's
the Ganzo effect.
Doing my Ganzo effect podcast right here, right now. Just covering up some streamer drama. But look, I have plenty of streamer friends that are a lot more successful than I am. Hell, I even have streamer friends that have gotten more success a lot quicker than I have. And I've never been mad at my streamer friends for being more successful than I am. I congratulate them. I'm happy for them. However, it does send me into a spiral, making me think like, what's wrong with me? You know, like what am I not doing that's not catching the attention, you know? And I'm not trying to make this about me. I'm just trying to, like, I guess, kind of not reason with Mizkif, but like I can understand, but I wouldn't cause a situation like that to happen. You know what I'm saying? I would not ever cause a situation like that to happen. I would wait until like after the streams, you know, and then talk to a couple people. I mean, I've talked to a couple of people already. Like, dang, man, like I'm so happy for you, you know, but I need to know like what's going on with me, you know, like how come I'm not being as successful? Like I need to find my niche. And then, you know, people were like, well, you can use your music. And I'm like, yeah, but using my music is cool and all, but like, it's only cool for like a second. And then it's like, you know, whatever, you know. But anyway, you know, comparing yourself to others, it's definitely not a good thing to do. However, it's also like good healthy way to get back to the drawing board and kick yourself in the butt and, you know, get down to brass tacks and see what, you know, see what you need to do to help further your career. And so that's why I'm doing all these weird different things, like other than gaming, you know, gaming, watching, you know, sports, you know, doing, you know, the Ganzo Effect podcast now, implementing my music as well, doing video edits here and there. Like I'm trying my ass off. I'm trying my ass off, and I know I shouldn't expect it to happen overnight, but I mean that's just me. I'm just a super highly competitive person, and you know. But anyway, I would never cause a whole scene, especially during somebody's stream, and just have a whole crash out session. And you know, like that's very childish. Like I can be very childish at times. Like people that actually know me like know that I can be very childish at times, but there's a time and place for most of it, you know. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I wouldn't try to sabotage somebody's stream. That's just an act of somebody that just doesn't have anybody's best interest, or that doesn't have their best interest for other people. You know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, yeah, I'm in the same boat with certain things. Yeah, Yuki. Yeah, and I'll support you as much as I can through this. Hey, and I appreciate it, Yuki. I appreciate it. I mean, the first time you saw me, I was playing Civilization, right? It was like one of the most boring games, but I mean, not to me. Like, I'm just saying, like, watching it probably seems boring, but yeah, I remember you showing up when I was playing Civilization, and you still come back whenever you can, and that's pretty awesome, and I appreciate you, Yuki. But yeah, anyway, continuing on with this video.
I stop in the bathroom outside.
Yeah,
my
I know you
stream
love
room,
Civilization.
and I'm, like,
Yeah,
you know, checking my makeup, trying to make sure people can't tell that I was like crying. And I'm only in there for like 30 seconds, and he comes and like looms in the doorway. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just checking my makeup." So I go back and I stream for a couple hours. Finish the stream. Do my best to just, like, you know, carry on the show basically. And yeah, after that, like I said, was when things started to get really fucking bad. It was like something just snapped. For the rest of the week, he streamed the Rust event. He got all the drop viewers. I'm sure he was very happy. I mean, good for him.
to this day, I still don't even know what a drop is.
I obviously was like thinking and processing a lot of what happened. But I mean, it was a lot because this person was at the time like kind of it was like my partner and my best friend, and like the only person that like I really talked to ever, or like at least off stream. So I mean, it was a lot. But the very next stream, I went live about a week after that, and I announced that I was planning to move because I knew that I would have to move. So I was like, okay, I have to go live and say this so that, you know, kind of force myself to commit to it, right? Does that make sense?
She's shaking right now, dude.
Obviously, I didn't move out right away, but after like all of that Rust stuff happened was when the other domestic abuse stuff really started. He would destroy furniture in front of me. He would throw things in front of me and near me. Destroy walls. Again, you can go see this in some of his VODs in his bedroom. The holes in the wall. There would be times where he was upset at me, and I would go to my stream room and literally lock myself in to get away from him, and he would be...
Dude, I can't understand people that destroy their own things. Like, I'll freaking, I'll pound my desk, you know, and I'll I'll toss like something that's not breakable. I would never toss my controller, and if I do, it's like I'd toss it on the couch, but I wouldn't like full on huck it. You know, like something like this empty Zen can. You know what I'm saying? This empty Zen can. Yeah, I'm just gonna be like fucking stupid. You know, I might throw it a little bit harder. There's soundproof padding on my wall now, so I'll probably throw it at that. But it's something that's like it's not gonna cause any damage. People that punch holes in their wall, I can't stand that. As a kid, I would see that happen all the time, and I just hate it. I hate it. Like, yeah, it would get patched over and stuff, whatever. But did I just hate that so much? I can't stand ruining the things that I have. It's what I have. I don't want to repay for all the crap, you know. I just can't stand people that, or I can't understand people that break their own things in frustration. I just can't. I don't understand it. I'll punch like other things. Like there are other things that I've punched, stuff that ain't mine. But it's not like other people's walls or anything like that. It's something that it's like that's hard. So I know it's not going to cause damage. It'll probably cause more damage to my hand than anything. But I know it's something that it's not. I'm not going to cause any damage to. So I don't know. I've had my moments of anger and frustration. I've always been an angry person. Uh, yeah, I've always been an angry person, but I've always been an angry person at least within reason, I guess. But yeah, just somebody that just destroys their own shit. I don't understand it. Yeah, I really break stuff. The only time I do is if I'm raging so hard, my brain physically hurts afterwards, which the last time that happened was when I was fighting Sephiroth in the OG Kingdom Hearts 2 on PS2, but I beat him. Hey, that's kind of how I was with when I fought Radon, Consort Radon on the Elden Ring DLC. Dude got me so heated, bro. Dude got me so mad.
Banging on the door and screaming at me. And at the time, he also would more often do things like going, like if we were driving in the car together, he would be going like 150 miles an hour. And like one time he even said like, well, now we're both gonna die, like threatening to kill both of us. And this wasn't.
That's psycho shit, dude. That's psychotic.
Like even necessarily because of me or like because of something I did a lot of the time. Like one of the times that it happened, it was because we were just getting food and he was on his phone and he saw that Mr. Beast had put out a video and Mr. Beast had invited another streamer and he was like, oh, Mr. Beast invited this guy to his video, not me. And I was like, oh, well, you know, like, huh, yeah, I guess so. Which led to him going 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about killing himself while doing it.
I mean, like, so what? You know? Like, so what? Oh, he he put this streamer on, but not me. I'm gonna kill myself, and I'm gonna kill you at the same time while I'm driving this super fast car going 150 miles. I don't know if it was really 150 miles an hour. It was probably like 100 or 120 or something like that. I don't know, or maybe it was 150. I have no idea. But dude, that's somebody of not a sound mind. There have been times where I drove with Nate. We were in a work truck, and I was like fucking speeding through. Well, our trucks were governed, but Like there were lanes and I'm just like zipping through lanes and I'm punching the ceiling and stuff of the truck. And this was like a long time ago. I was like 23 or something like that. I was like 23 or 24 or something like that. So this was like 10 years ago, back when my anger problems were much worse. But and what I was mad about was that we were at work because we were driving the work, or I was driving the work truck, and um I just started school, like online college courses for like Fully Cell University for like music and stuff. And Nate had to go do some, he had like something he had to do with his family and stuff. But there was like a thing where it's like, hey, we need one of you guys to do something, like do this route real quick. And we already pulled in like a 13-hour day, 14-hour day. So we were like ready to just fucking go home. And then that happened, and then I was the one that got chosen to go do it, and I was pissed. I was so mad. I was so mad. I think that was like when I decided to put in my 2 weeks. You know, at that job, because I was just like, forget this, dude. This is stupid. Yeah, that was psychopath behavior. What Mizkif did, yeah. Yeah, that's when you still had remnants of your teenage hormones, which is 23 and 24. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So, but anyway, but I I wasn't indicating that I was going to kill us both, cuz there would have been no way, because we were in a big old work truck, and I would end up killing somebody on the road due to crash damage, right? But no, I was very careful. I wasn't careful. I was like just weaving in and out of traffic, just, you know, passing cars and stuff. And dude, I just look over to the right. And sometimes when I get into that state of mind, I don't realize other people. I don't realize what's around me. I'm being essentially selfish and just thinking about myself and all that stuff. And I look to the right and I see my buddy Nate. He's just on his phone, just like, when his eyebrows are raised, he's feeling really awkward. And then I was just like, fuck. So I ended up like having to calm down and then apologize. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like, it's nothing that you did or whatever. He's like, no, it's fine. It's just, you know, try not to kill us. I was just like, no, I know what I'm doing, you know, but yeah, I would never in a million years threaten somebody's life while I'm driving in an attempt to take my own. That's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Then at home, other things would happen. Like, I'd be trying to sleep and he would scream at me and say that it was all my fault that he felt insecure. There was a time that I walked into a room that he was in.
It's his own fault.
And as soon as he saw me there,
The insecurity,
he threw his phone,
it's
at
well
the dresser
within.
and started yelling because I had posted a YouTube video within the same couple of days as him, and mine was doing better. So basically, I felt like I was kind of stuck in a loop where I felt like I had to constantly
That's a stupid thing to say. Just going back to when Mizkif was telling Emmy that it's her fault that he's insecure. Insecurity stems from an issue with your own inner security. That's where the term insecure comes from. It has something to do with you. It's not to do with anybody else. Maybe somebody's actions can cause a little bit of insecurity, but really a sane person can hold that. They can still be insecure, but they can have the strength to just withhold it in themselves and kind of just deal with it on their own, not lash out like a freaking toddler. You know what I'm saying? And then calling somebody, like saying it's your fault that I'm insecure. No, bro, that's it's an issue with your own inner security. Come on now, like it just doesn't make sense to me.
Perform and like prove my value to not be thrown away, but at the same time, if I ever performed too well, I was gonna be punished for it. And it just felt like a very rough situation to be stuck in, because I mean, streaming is my hobby and my job. Like, it's a huge part of my life, even before.
Yeah, and that's a crappy thing,
I met
man.
him and became like.
I'm sorry for like keeping on pausing, but that's a crappy thing to put somebody through. Because now she's, and I've been in a similar position before, but she feels like she has to water her own self down to try to keep him happy, but she also doesn't want to water herself down too much to the point to where she's gonna be worried about getting let go from OTK and then, you know, lose out on her deal, her contract or whatever, you know, from OTK. So she has to find this medium, and then that's causing her stress at the same time. Meanwhile, he's yelling at her ear saying, it's your fault that I'm this way and blah, 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 blah. All she wants to do is just try to keep the dumbass happy. That's hard, dude. That's hard. I've been in a similar situation. I'm not going to specifically talk about what it is or what it was. I mean, but I've been there before, and it's hard. It's taxing. It's very taxing on the mind. It's very taxing on the soul, your well-being. It's not a fun place to be. It's not a fun place to be. You ultimately end up wishing harm on yourself. I know, because I've been there. And it's just, it's not a fair place to be in at all. Having to juggle that, keeping somebody happy. So you're putting somebody above you, but also trying to scave by with the bare minimum so you don't lose your job. And on top of that, keeping your supporters happy at the same time. Oh man.
A larger creator. And I remember thinking all the time how it felt like he hated me, but he still wanted me around for his channel and like his thumbnails and everything.
Still wanted you around for the views, for the traction.
And this is still before I moved out. There was a time where it was the tension in the house was so unbearable that I would sneak out and I would sneak into Esfan's house using my code. And Esfan didn't know why I was doing this. He saw me a couple times. I'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna go take a nap in your guest room. He'd be like, yeah, that's fine. I would sneak into Esfan's house just to have some time of like peace and quiet. But eventually, he figured out where I was going, and he would go over to Esfan's house to keep telling me off. And there was a time that he did it, and I was laying in the guest room bed, and one of the roommates in that house had come to see like why I was crying, and they were standing in the corner. And Miz, he came in, and he was very physically aggressive. He was like, Emmy, like, what are you doing? Like, angry. And then as soon as he turned and saw this other person standing there, he instantly, like, deflated and changed his tone. He was like, oh,
mood change.
Emmy, I was wondering where you were. Like, are you coming home?
Dude, that's a psycho. That's a psycho.
And, that roommate, like, later asked me about it, and they were like, what the fuck was that? Like, are you okay? And I was just like, oh, it's nothing, because I felt like
You don't want to cause too much negative
a lot of the
attention
reason
to
that I
him,
didn't
because
tell
then he would blame you for that as well, even though it was his own actions that got people asking questions like that. So to avoid being yelled at some more, you got to just be like, nothing. He was just worried about me. That's all. Blah blah blah. So dumb, dude. Not even fair.
the people around me was because I felt like no one would understand, or even if they understood, it would just be a burden to them because all of our streams and social circles and communities are so intertwined. I was like, maybe it's just better for me to deal with this and like hope things get better, basically. I honestly don't even remember what the final straw was that I finally was like, okay, it's time to go. Like, I prepared the house that I lived in before this one, like, pretty much immediately after the, like, breaking the front door thing happened, but I was still, like, scared and unsure. So I don't remember what the final straw was, but I remember the day I took Cheddar to the house, because he just randomly started, like, screaming at Cheddar. He was like, get that fucking cat out of my house. So I just grabbed Cheddar
Sorry,
and put him in my
it's
car
getting really cold in the
and
room,
grabbed his
so
litter
I'm
box and took
turning
him there.
on the
And I
heater.
just left him there and never took him back to that house.
Wait, what? Hold
then,
on, what?
The house that I lived in before this one, like, pretty much immediately after the, like, breaking the front door thing happened, but I was still, like, scared and unsure. So I don't remember what the final straw was, but I remember the day I took Cheddar to the house, because he just randomly started, like, screaming at Cheddar. He was like, get that fucking cat out of my house. So I just grabbed Cheddar and put him in my car and grabbed his litter box and took him there, and I just left him there and never took him back to that house. And then I think, like, within several days after that was when I finally moved out. It was on very short notice. Like I said, I don't even remember what the final straw was because so many things happened, but there was a time when I just knew. I called some movers. I said, hey, can you come tomorrow? And they were like, yeah, and then I literally moved the next day. Moving out into the last house that I lived in was a huge step mentally because, like I said, a big part of why I moved into the first house in Texas in the first place was because I felt like it was the safest option for me because, you know, I am a girl where it's like kind of scary for me to be living alone. So it was very hard, and at the time, even though like all these other things had already happened, I was very hopeful that me and him could be cordial and like eventually like things would be fine, at least publicly, like for stream reasons, that, you know, everyone could just keep streaming like nothing had happened. And, you know, at the time I thought that would be the best thing to do, and I felt like if I, you know, separated myself from him without explaining anything, people that watched us wouldn't understand and would attack me. I was yeah, I mean, it ended up happening anyway. So, but
Well, yeah, because behind your back he would, because okay, so people, there are some people that can deal with jealousy, and then there are other people that can't deal with jealousy. And some of the people that cannot deal with jealousy will do whatever they can to try to tarnish somebody's name for their own benefit and get people on their side, that in case something were to pop off, then, you know what I'm saying? Like, so if something were to pop off, then you'd have, you know, a little bit of backup. And I know people like that. Now, there have been times where like I would talk to somebody about a certain somebody, but I you know, it really wasn't anything bad. It was just something just like, you know, it's just like, I'm just a little upset with this person right now because this, that, and the other. And the person I was talking to about it, uh, they're a mutual friend of that person too. And I was just like, but I'm not like trying to, you know, talk crap or anything like that. Like, you know, that person's a good person, you know, a nice person. Just something that they said, like, kind of, you know, ticked me off a little bit. And, you know, um, but anyway, so even though I'm talking about somebody, I don't really talk crap on somebody, and I sure as hell don't try to make it seem like, you know, I want the other person to feel a certain negative way about the person that I'm talking about. And I was just like, so I'm just kind of venting right now. This is nothing like, you know, but anyway, but yeah, but people that really try to snake their way into getting, like, creating a narrative, a false narrative, just to have those people in your back pocket. You know what I'm saying? They're not only doing it to that one person, they're doing that to other people. Hell, I'm pretty sure he's doing that to other people that, to the people that he's talking, you know, trying to keep in their back pocket. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know. It might not make sense. It makes sense to me because I've dealt with people. I know how people can get, and, you know, it's just what it is. Oh shoot.
Yeah. After I moved out, we, like I said, still kept in contact. I had hope that somehow things would get better. He would always beg for me to come back, and he would promise therapy and change, and like even talk to other people and like kind of present like, oh, I want to change, I want to be better for Emmy or whatever, you know. There was a short period in October where we had broken up because, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter now. And when that happened, I honestly felt relieved because I was like, okay, finally, it's like on his terms. So that means he'll be satisfied and be able to say it was his choice, and he'll leave me alone. Because whenever I would try to push for it, it just felt like I couldn't like really sever it, if that makes sense. But I mean, obviously, hence me doing this stream, that was not the end of it. A week after this breakup, he asked to come over to my house and talk for closure. He came to my house, and I was crying like crazy because the emotions were just very high, because I was dealing with a lot of major shifts in my life as a result of me attempting to start to try to distance myself from him. So yeah, we were just talking and I was crying a lot. He started to try to comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch.
And then he tried to make a move on you.
And holding me really close to him. And when this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with. But I let him hold me while I was crying. And he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. And then suddenly, he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants. And I screamed. Yeah. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat, like. And instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, "I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go." And he immediately left my house while I was still crying, without checking if I was okay or anything. And at the time, I was still making excuses for him, and I was still
That was his game. That was his goal. He was just trying to get laid. All this let's just talk bullshit. It was just bullshit. He just wanted to get laid via manipulation. Granted, she did kiss him back. You know, started with the holding. She was crying. Then they started kissing. And then he just went fucking caveman mode and started sexually advancing. Probably way too quick. She screamed. He got up and was just like, "I feel like I did something wrong." And then left. Just dipped. That's all he wanted. That's all he was there for. As soon as he figured out that it wasn't going to go that way, he dipped. That's all he wanted. He wasn't there to talk. He wanted to try to manipulate, get what he can get, to try to keep you in his back pocket.
afraid of causing trouble for other streamers around us, or like, you know, making things weird for viewers. I know that probably sounds crazy, but like I just felt this pressure, like I had to try to keep things together, if that makes sense. I felt like I'd cause trouble for so many other people if I ever said anything bad about him, or if I caused rifts in our friend group or streamer group. I tried to stay on good terms with him and hold everything in, and also I still cared about him a lot, and I still at that point had hope that things would get better and that, you know, he would improve. And he'd also always hammer into me how he never physically abused me because he never hit me, and he would coach me and tell me to tell people or other streamers who were asking about it because they were concerned. He would say tell them that I never hit you, make sure that they know that I never hit you.
Why would you feel the need to coach somebody to say that? Why would he feel the need to coach Emmy to say that? Because he knew he was abusive. Sure, it may not have been physical, other than the throwing of the water bottles and the phone. But saying, "Just let him know that I never actually hit you," that's just a POS move, dude. You're looking out for yourself. You don't even care about the well-being of the other person in front of you. You're just only caring about yourself.
Around the same time, this was during OnlyFans 2, so I guess like December-ish. He would often message me in the middle of my streams and berate me for things like playing the same class as him in WoW because he thought it would make people think that I was better than him. And again, like I said earlier, I felt like I was stuck in a constant loop where I had to perform well to not be thrown away, but if I performed too well, I was going to be punished. And I actually wanted to show some of those messages because obviously a lot of these things I Yeah, I'm not gonna fully read these out because I honestly just don't want to read them out, but I feel like I want to show them to like kind of
Well, you gotta have receipts.
show what I'm saying.
God damn it.
Because I honestly just don't want to read them out, but I feel like I want to show them to like kind of show what I'm saying.
But how do I know it's not just someone who doesn't follow, lol? Yes, I'm still waiting to be DPS, but for dungeons, I have to tank, yeah. You really don't. Like, you don't. How can I not tank in dungeons? You straight up don't have to because you're a DPS. My group didn't have other warriors. Yeah, I know where this is going and I'm not dealing with it. I asked for a boundary and it's always crossed. You don't know boundaries. How can I not tank as a warrior in dungeons? Because you aren't a tank? When I said I don't want to be a tank, I mean I don't want to tank in raid, which is still true because I don't know what I'm doing. You do not need to tank in dungeons. So now I'm going to get so much shit nonstop. Don't ever pull aggro. Emmy is better. Emmy this. I can't have anything. What? Emmy is better. Emmy this. I can't have anything Emmy. Oh man. So that's the stuff that his chat's saying. I don't.
And I am planning to probably post the VOD of this somewhere, so if
You just take. Damn. I don't understand what you want me to do. Not tank. Just that simple. What the F does that mean? You already played warrior when I told you we're going to get compared. Don't pull. I'm gonna pull aggro because I'm a warrior. No, you're not. Another warrior can tank. So he's telling her how to play the game.
you know you want to read
In
this
Discord.
later, that's fine, I guess.
I didn't have another warrior in any of my groups today and no warriors wanting to join. Girl with 27k couldn't find a warrior. You can every time. You just so he's putting the viewership. He's saying a girl with 27k, meaning 27k viewers, I'm assuming, couldn't find a warrior. You can every time. You just want to tank. I know what you're doing right now and I'm not dealing with it. There were no warriors asking to join. And why is it bad for me to pull in dungeons? Because now I'm going to get compared nonstop. Because now people are just going to say you're better. Because I told you this when you first told me you want to play warrior. And it's already happening. And you just don't care about this stuff ever. There's no boundaries with you. Jeez Louise, dude.
And again, this was all happening while I was live. You can literally go find the stream and see me trying to deal with this.
No boundaries with you. Now we're the same class, same thing, tanks. Dude, don't dude me. Don't dude me. I asked for one thing with you. Don't be a tank, and now you're tanking. What can I do? What the F am I supposed to do? Don't tank. Yep, there it is. I'm playing the game. Tank, Emmy. Do it. Let me handle all the hate. Why are you worried about what she's playing right now? Like, if both of you guys are playing the same game, like, dude, you know how many other people are going to be tanks? Like, come on, bro. I don't even play these games, but it's like, I don't really see an issue with it. Maybe she is trying to get under his skin. I mean, there is definitely a possibility there. But I don't know, man.
While I'm live in the middle of a dungeon, trying to just play the fucking game.
Tank Emmy, do it. Let me handle all the hate, the criticism, the you're worse than Emmy. The Emmy is so much better. The people saying you're better in every chat. The comparison, since nobody will be on my side. Let me deal with it. You have fun. I asked you to not become a tank and you didn't listen. And now it's the classic. What was I supposed to do? I'm not dealing with this. And then he put a bunch of hyphens, I guess. Or is that the little squiggly? Whatever. Damn, dude.
Oh fuck, I think I... Tank Emmy, do it. Let me handle all the hate, the criticism, the you're worse than Emmys. The Emmy is so much better. The people saying you're better in every chat. The comparison says nobody will ever be on my side. Let me deal with it. You have fun. I asked you not to become a tank. You didn't listen. And now it's the classic, what was I supposed to do? I'm not dealing with this. And like I said, you can go find the stream. But for context, I was playing Warrior in World of Warcraft in like a level 24 dungeon. It was like Silverpine. Like, it was just like, it wasn't even like, it was like dog shit gameplay, I'm gonna be honest. Like, so, yeah.
So she's even saying she wasn't even playing that well.
Yeah, yeah, you can, read that later.
And what the stupid thing about it is, like, the people in chat that are saying, like, yeah, Emmy's better than you, dude, they all think, well, not think, because they are in the same OTK circle, right? So they're not really necessarily criticizing you. They're just talking some shit. People in chat do it all the damn time. People in chat talk shit all the damn time. It's not that serious, dude.
I suppose, if,
They're doing it. They're doing it because fucking because you guys are in the same technically like record label of streamers. Happens all the time. Hell, when Emmy was playing Dark Souls and stuff, people were telling Emmy in her chat like Asmongold's so much better than you. You don't see Emmy freaking out about that. I mean, come on, because they're all in the same circle.
Yeah, like I said before, hold on. I was constantly trying so hard to compromise with him because I wanted to be cool and I wanted us to be able to coexist in the same streaming sphere. But I felt like I could never win, and he hated my whole existence. Like, ever since that one stream where I had like a little bit more viewers than him. And he would say that it was my fault that his stream was dying because most of his viewers liked me, and whenever he hit on another girl, they would be confused or not take it seriously because they knew that me and him were together privately. And he said if he would be able to hit on other girls and convince them that it was real, he would get his career back.
Oh yeah, so he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. So he's pretty much saying, you know, I have to hit on other girls so it'll boost up views and stuff like that. Because yeah, he would have a whole bunch of collabs with other girls and stuff, for streams and YouTube videos and whatnot. And he's essentially saying like, it's not serious. I just want them to think it's serious, and I want the viewers to think it's serious, so I can boost up my viewership. So essentially, this dude's trying to have his cake and eat it too.
That was like started within the last couple of weeks that we spoke to each other. He started saying terrible things to me about other streamers in Austin. In particular, one specific streamer who I know there's a lot of people that know he has beef with certain streamers. It was not one of those streamers. It was someone who to this day has been nothing but nice to him. He would say horrible things about this person, like about them in their stream, and it was very hard to listen to. And just in general, he would say horrible things about other streamers in Austin, like, I quote, "I hate everyone here. You are all useless to me. You're worthless to me because it does nothing for my stream anymore to collab with any of you."
Damn.
And him saying that was the final straw for me. The day that he said that to me about other people was the first day that I ever, for the first time, started to ignore his calls and messages. And because of that, he even threatened to come to my house if I didn't answer. But I did end up calling him back, and I spoke to him, and I basically told him that I felt like I could finally see things for what they were. And he started panicking, and he was super apologetic, and he was saying he didn't want to lose me, which wasn't the first time that he like did something like that, and was like, basically begging me not to leave. But that was definitely the most extreme time. And again, like I said, I always had the hope that things would be cordial, or that, we could be fine with each other. So I agreed, and we agreed we were going to talk about all of that. We talked about it about a week later, and instead of apologizing for anything, he basically told me that he realized he needed to go to Japan and LA to get his viewership back up, and he was basically too young to focus on friendships and relationships. And it was despite everything, like I said, I still cared about him, so it was still hard. And it was like a mix of feelings, like I was devastated, but I was also so relieved. But because of the past incidents during like other fights and times I would try to separate myself from him, past incidents during those times of him manipulating me into staying close with him and giving him more chances, sexually assaulting me, the abuse, and just him generally not being a very nice person. After that, I decided that the only solution and way for me to move forward, I made the hard decision, but I know now for sure the right one, was to finally completely cut contact with him. I knew it'd be very hard because our careers and our communities were so intertwined, but I knew that I had to do it and that there was no other choice. So I have not spoken to him since January of this year. It's been 10 months. But if you think that's the end, it is unfortunately not. I haven't spoken to him since January of this year. It only took a couple of weeks, but soon the messages started. He has attempted to contact me over 40 times individually this year in individual texts, Discord messages, Instagram DMs, and phone calls. And I'm just gonna show those. And at first, at first it starts simple, be confusing messages or like him expressing he was worried about things.
Hey, just to make sure you don't have recordings of me, right? I'm getting harassed that you do, and I'm assuming it's nothing. Do you know why I'm removed from everything? Oh, he's talking about the OTK. He's talking about the OTK servers and stuff. Why I'm kicked from OTK? Nobody's answering my calls, and I don't want to bother you, but I'm panicking and I don't understand what's happening. Can we please communicate so I don't feel isolated and hated by my own organization? I just want to be okay with each other, and whatever, with our streams and lives, something shouldn't have. Oh, okay. Streams and lives, we shouldn't have this feeling. I came home and feel terrible. It feels so odd that I cannot talk to you or anyone and just know what's happening. Can you please respond? I understand and will just leave you alone, but I really would appreciate if we can talk. I won't text you again after that. I really want to talk if possible.
Like, first it wasn't anything weird.
I really do want to talk if possible. I know you don't want to hear from me, but I can't just not message you. I still care about you. If you need to talk, I'm here. I'm so sorry shit like this happened. I'll be up all night if you need to talk. Can we please talk, Emmy? I'm so sorry for what I said. Can we talk tomorrow? Hey, I found out you weren't invited to the party. I know you wouldn't want to go, but I didn't do invites. You were invited, of course, and I hope you're doing okay and one day we can talk. Emmy, can we please talk? I really need to tell you things. I'm so sorry for the past few months. I'm so sorry for so much that happened. I need this time to be alone, but I really love you so much. I just needed to know what being alone, and I learned I need you. I don't want to be without you. I regret so much that I hurt you and I left, but I know I needed it. I really need to tell you things. I'm so sorry. Okay, yeah, but I know I needed it. Please call me. I haven't stopped thinking about you in months. I know what I want, and it's you and only you. I've been nothing but miserable without you. I love you, Emmy. And if you take me back, I want us to be in a real relationship, meaning no secrets, no hiding, no nothing. I want us to go on dates, to live together, to plan our lives. I want so much with you. Please just hear me out. I wrote out a lot of how I feel. I've been writing so much and learned so much about myself. Just please, if you can hear me out, I love you so much, Emmy. I've been crying every night without you. And I'm sorry I've done any of this. I've been so depressed without you. Just please call me. I'll be up. I will do anything for you. I will come home from Japan right now for you. Can you answer me, Emmy? Just at least tell me you moved on. Damn it. Hey, would you be willing to talk? Jeez Louise. Hey, I know it's been a while. I just want to say that I'm going back to Austin next week, and I think that you and I should at least be able to talk and communicate with each other. I'm gonna be also doing a lot of collabs, and I know you've been doing a lot of collabs lately, and I feel that we should be amicable with each other so it's not weird because we're both now doing a lot of clubs. I think you meant collabs. And I feel like it would be really weird considering we're both also in the same, or that we're just not talking to each other at all and have zero communication. I want to come back and for us to at least be.
This is not someone who loves or cares about you.
At least be okay. I don't want need to talk to you about anything in terms of relationship. I just want to talk to you in terms of business and also just overall collaboration. So I think we should have a conversation. If you can call me sometime this week, I think that would be great. Hope you're doing well. If we can't communicate, we're going to continue to not talk. This is only going to get weirder and weirder as we're both invited to the same things constantly, and we are both involved in Austin activities. It's best for both. Yeah, he's really trying to go for that manipulation route now. All the sweet talk isn't working, so now it's just nonchalantly manipulating. Can you please answer my phone? Not a day has gone by in these last 4 months where your final words to me, "Don't go," haven't echoed in my heart. This is going to be very interesting. Because he's talking about when he left after he um tried to move forward sexually with her, and then she freaked out, and then he left. As he left, she said, "Don't go," and then he left. So that's what he's talking about when he says, "Your final words to me, don't go, haven't echoed into my heart. I walked out your door thinking I knew what I wanted, but I was wrong. I told myself I needed to be alone, that I had missed out on being single in my 30s. I convinced myself I needed space, freedom, distance, but the truth is I was afraid of commitment, afraid of what it meant to truly let someone in, even someone as beautiful and kind as you. So I tried to protect myself in the worst way possible. I pushed you away. I told myself lies to justify it. I said I was bored. I said a relationship would hold me back. I said I didn't want to be with just one person. What? Those weren't truths. They were shields I put up to avoid facing my fears and parts of myself I hadn't yet healed. And in doing that, I lost you." So it's back to whispering the sweet nothings. I love you, Emmy. I always have. And I know now I never stop. Reading these are weird, man. I know our time together was far from perfect. My mental health weighed heavily on us both. I'm so sorry for what I put you through. You carried more than you ever should have had to, but I'm working on myself now. Really working. I've started treatment. I'm on Lexapro and propanol, propane and propane accessories. And for the first time in a long time, I feel clarity. My emotions aren't running wild anymore. I think more clearly. I feel steadier. I'm learning to be the man you always believed I could be. Sweet nothings. And now that I can see things, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I know this without a shadow of a doubt. You are the love of my life. Every night we spent watching shows every silly conversation about Cheddar, which is the cat that he yelled at. Every time I walked into your room as you were about to go live, I cherished it all. You brought color and joy into my life in ways I didn't fully appreciate until I lost you. And I hate that I let fear and pain and pride blind me to how lucky I was to have you. Emmy, if you still have any space in your heart for me, I would spend the rest of my life making things right, loving you the way you've always deserved to be loved. This time, fully. I am leaving for LA, but I would make it work with you, even if we can start small. It's always been Matt and Emmy, and it still could be if you'll have me. Oh, what's that? Is that Instagram? Can we please talk while you're here? A simple conversation would go very far for the both of us. The lack of communication is very confusing, and I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. Okay, and that's her story on Instagram. Can we please talk while you're here? A simple conversation will go very far. Like communication is very confusing, and I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. Oh, you already did that one.
And keep in mind, this is only things that he sent to me. I can't document all the things that people told me that he was saying. And just kind of a funny side note, I guess. I would like to highlight this message because doesn't really matter, but I ran it through a ChatGPT checker and all the highlights. Like I said, doesn't really matter. I just thought it was interesting. But
So she's saying that he used Chat GPT to send her a poetic message. Is that what she's saying?
yeah. Like I said at first, the messages were just simple things, like him saying he was worried about things or saying no one was talking to him, which I don't think was even true at the time. I think he was just saying that to try to guilt me into responding to him. I'm not sure about that, of course. This also extended to in-person interactions because initially I made the mistake of thinking that I only had to cut him off through private communication and, you know, we would be fine going to the same events and parties and such. I also had to start hold on, I'm still fucking sick. I made the mistake of thinking that I only had to cut him off through personal private communication, but I also had to start avoiding going to the same parties or places I was worried he'd be in person because this was after he came back from his first trip to Japan. There was a party that I attended several months after I first went into contact with him. I was aware that he would be there, and I thought it'd be fine. I thought it wouldn't be a big deal. I thought I'll just let him have his space. I'll have my space. You know, it's not a big deal. We're adults, right? During this party, I felt like he was following me around and monitoring me, but I thought that I was just being paranoid. I was like, it's probably just in your head. I was hanging out with Nick and Catchy and a couple other friends. And at some point, Nick was like, "It's too fucking loud down here. Let's go upstairs. No one's upstairs. Let's just go, chill in a room and like talk where it's not so loud." And I was like, okay. So they, as a group, went upstairs first without me, but it took me a bit longer to get up there because someone like stopped me and was talking to me. And I did feel like, he was like standing pretty close to that person. I felt like he was watching me, but again, I thought I was just being paranoid. But I went upstairs. I was hanging out with Nick and Catchy and, our other friends. And then about 30 minutes later, the room that we're in, the door opens. It's Miz. He opens the door, makes eye contact with me, goes, "Ooh," and then closes the door and leaves. And I was like, what the fuck? But again, I was still trying my best to, give the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe it's just like an awkward situation or something. But a couple months later, the person that he was hanging out with that night reached out to me privately and was apologizing. And I was like, why? And they're like, "I just felt like I had to apologize to you because I felt so bad and so embarrassed of what was going on. Like, yes, he wanted to see what you were doing. He was saying, like, I want to go see what's upstairs, and he was checking every room. And then after he opened the room that you were in with Nick, he closed the door and started laughing, and then he just wanted to talk about, how you guys broke up for the next, like, however many hours of the night." So I was like, wow, okay, that's good to know, I guess. The next story that I want to tell involves what happened to me, Valkyrie, and Cinna earlier this year when we were attacked at the Santa Monica Pier. Because that was obviously... Hold on, let me close all these fucking texts. I don't want to look at them. They're still on my desktop. Where was I?
Santa Monica Pier or whatever.
Yeah, so, it happened March 3rd of this year. A lot of people were talking about how me, Ray, and Cinna were attacked. Which was not an issue. Like, we had no issue with that. Like, obviously, it's big news. People are gonna talk about it. It should be talked about. We had, like, no issues with anyone talking about it and covering it, and that included him. I was fine with that. He joined in on that whole thing of people going live to talk about it. And again, I'd like to remind people at this point, we were already a couple months into me being no contact with him, making it clear I didn't want anything to do with him. And so during this stream, he was covering what happened to me, Ray, and Cinna. He decided that he was going to tell more of my personal stalker stories that I've never personally talked about or shared publicly myself. And one of these stories was one that, like, no one knew at all, and, like, it just felt so shitty because at the time that those things happened, like, all the people that lived in that area together, we all came together and we all kind of decided, and this was heavily pushed by him, we should never talk about this because, people are gonna be weird. It puts Emmy in more danger, and, it gives people ideas, so we're never gonna talk about it. But, of course, as soon as there's some big drama that he's not involved in, and he finds a way to, bring up, oh, I was there for something that happened to Emmy, he does it. He was on a stream talking about these personal stories of mine, and I caught wind of it. And by the way, it was also so frustrating not saying anything at this time because the way he told those stories, he kind of framed himself as, like, the hero. He was like, oh, I held the stalker at gunpoint. No. The only person who ever came into contact face to face with that stalker before the police came was Bonnie. Bonnie is the person who found that guy outside, went inside, told everyone, called the police. The police came. All Miz did was he stood far away from the front door, behind glass and metal, with a gun. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Still very scary, but why are you acting like if anyone deserves credit for that, it's Bonnie. Like, it's literally stolen valor. I'm so glad I finally get to say that, because she is the one who, like, kept everyone in those two houses safe, not him. Anyway, back to the original thing, the Ray and Cinna stuff. I was obviously panicking. Like, I just had this horrible thing happen to me the night before. It was like huge, like public, millions of people seeing it. And then my crazy ex-boyfriend is going live talking about more of my personal stuff. And I'm like crying, and Cinna and Ray are like, what's wrong? And I tell them, and I'm like panicking. I'm like, I need to call so-and-so, I need to call so-and-so, I need to call so-and-so. Like, these different people that I was like, they can contact him, because I did not want to contact him. So, Ray, Cinna, some of me and Miz's mutual business partners, and Asmongold were all messaging him to stop. And by the way, Asmongold told me that he tried to call Miz while he was talking, and it rang 3 times and then hung up.
Yeah.
Which means that he saw it, and he just wanted to be able to keep talking.
Either he saw it and he, canceled the call or whatever, ignored the call, or somebody that had his phone canceled the call, but he saw it. I mean, come on. Like, even Asmongold said, just to save a little face, just any slight possibilities, like, either he saw it and canceled my call, or somebody else handled the phone. But I'm like, he had his phone. He had his phone on him. He canceled the call.
Because, yeah, anyway, just a little note. I don't know exactly what, like, the other people said to him, but Ray and Cinna told me that they were messaging him being like, bro, like, stop, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? And he was messaging them, who were also equally as traumatized as me, of course. They had gone through the same thing. Oh, what am I doing wrong? I'm letting people know what, girls go through. Was that your job? Well, anyway, yeah, that all happened a couple of months into me being no contact with him. And yeah, he was arguing with Ray and Cinna while they're trying to be like, bro, like, stop, like, you're making it worse. He finished talking about my stuff and then reacted to Cinna and Ray's whole stream where they were crying, addressing their communities. Made sure to react to that, and then immediately went offline. So yeah, that was a terrible weekend. I got threatened to be stabbed, and then the next day, my weird ex was going live trying to self-insert so that he could make sure to farm his own clips. After that incident, his attempts to talk to me only ramped up, which I showed those texts. We went back to Japan, and during that trip, he was texting, calling me, trying to call me quite a lot, begging me to take him back. And at the same time, I heard that he was reaching out to quite a few other streamers who know both of us. And he was crying to them about how he wanted to get back together and how he thought someday we would reconnect and eventually get married. I don't think he even meant that, but I hope not. But I assume he did that with the hope that they would relay the messages back to me since I wasn't talking to him. And, I mean, some of them did.
It's definitely what he was trying to do.
I also had a couple other streamers report to me that he would obsessively watch my stream and not in a like, oh, I wonder what Emmy's doing right now way, or like having my stream open. Like, he would be obsessively and attentively hate watching my stream, like watching my stream and just saying horrible things almost every time that I've been live this year.
You said
And
horrible
they
things
tell
in the
me that he
chat.
would want to discuss how he believed I still wanted him. Interesting, considering I never replied. And he would ask other guys if they thought I had slept with anyone this year. They'd be like, I don't fucking know, man. And then they told me he would say stuff like, no, there's no way she's done that. She's not like that. And she's probably waiting for me. Just really fucking gross stuff like that. And a couple of streamers in LA also told me that he was telling people that me and him still talk all the time, but we simply weren't together anymore because I was too mature and I was not ready. I was too immature. But yeah, you can see from the messages I showed. I'm not sure if people can go back and read them. He was begging me to take him back for the majority of this year, which was 7 or 8 months total. And like I said, some of those messages were even, I believe, ChatGPT. Not that it really matters. It's just interesting.
It's not.
Right?
It's not ChatGPT. It's not. I can see how you would think that, but I think, to be honest, I think that was 100% him. There wasn't even anything in there that was like poetic anyway. Besides, even the ChatGPT detected it was like a 58% possibility that it could have been, but I don't know. I'm not buying into the whole ChatGPT thing though.
As of today, it's been about 2 months since he has attempted to contact me directly. I think because about 2 months ago was when he started kind of getting scared that I might have been like, telling people things, which again, I wasn't going out of my way to do it, but if anyone ever asked me, I wasn't gonna lie to them. I mentioned this at the beginning before I started fully telling the story. I heard from my friends, other streamers, and my employees that he had cooked up a plot that if I ever tried to talk about him, about the abuse or anything else, he would try to go live and say that I killed my rabbits. And I was told that he approached several streamers who were around us a lot when we lived together and asked if they would basically back him up, and they refused.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're not insane. And even something happened this weekend at TwitchCon. One of my employees told me he went up to them and he threatened them, saying, if Emmy ever tries to talk about me, I will destroy her. Whatever that means. And within the same night, he also texted one of my best friends, and he would have known that I would have been with this girl.
You know what I think could be a possibility? What if Mizkif paid for that dude to try something at TwitchCon? So maybe he paid that dude to try something with Emiru at TwitchCon to make Emiru think more about that situation. Mizkif did something. And he's also actively going to her employees and saying, she better not talk about me or else I got some dirt on her. You know what I'm saying? And then that thing happens with the dude at TwitchCon. I'm just saying, it's a wild theory, but it's definitely not impossible.
He texted her saying, "Hey, worried about her. Hope she's okay." You know, right after he just said to my employee and other people that he was gonna try to destroy my life. Yeah, all in the same night. And, yeah, that was Saturday, so that pretty much leads us to today. I feel like it's clear I've spent the last year of my life cutting him off and building a new life with people that actually care about me and doing my best to move on peacefully without causing any drama. I did not want to do this. A lot of other creators actually told me that after his other allegations in 2022, if I wasn't the first person to stand up for him and start appearing on his channel again, they do not think that they would have gone back to helping him with his content. So I always tried to keep things private, always tried to make things better, had hope.
So she even stood up for him on that accusation. Even back then. She doesn't seem like she would be the aggressor. Sure, it may seem like she, you know, she may have a few issues, you know. But I mean, due to the high amounts of stress that she's been put through. And look, I'm not usually one to take the girl's side. I'm just saying the dots are kind of connecting with this one. Just saying.
That things
So I'm not simping for Emmy.
would get better, you know, tried to be supportive, and my thanks that I got for all of that was abuse and resentment. And for all of 2025, all of this year, harassment and hatred from him and his community, while he was the whole time secretly begging for me to take him back behind the scenes.
While simultaneously talking shit about her to other people.
I've taken a lot of steps already. As I said, it's apparent. I've taken a lot of steps to restructure my life and be a lot more careful about who I help and who I invest my time and my care into. And I'm doing a lot better now, but I felt like this was a necessary strain because, like I said at the very beginning, I have heard that he has done things to other people that aligned with some of my own experiences, so I felt like it would be wrong for me to keep holding on to all this information. I know I stayed for way too long, and I thought that I could help, and I unfortunately learned that I couldn't, but I worked really hard to have the life that I have now with my friends, my family, my pets, and my community, and I'm so grateful for how things are now. It was very difficult, but I'm very proud of myself for making the choices that I did to end up where I am now. And yeah, that's my story of dealing with abuse, psychological and domestic abuse, sexual assault, and stalking, and being threatened on if, you know, I ever talked about it. And this whole time, it's been kind of hidden in plain sight away from hundreds of thousands of people. And, yeah. I know that me saying all of this probably isn't gonna make him or what's left of his community leave me alone. But sorry, voice crack. I know talking about this probably won't make him or probably won't make him or what remains of his community leave me alone, but
Oh no, it's gonna
I'm always
multiply
glad
it.
that people will be aware of all of
It's
this
definitely
now.
gonna
I won't have to
amplify it.
feel like I'm hiding a terrible dark secret anymore.
Go lay down.
And it's all out there now.
No.
And I also want to make it clear that not everyone that I interact with or that I'm friends with knew the extent of the things that were happening. And a lot of streamers didn't really know anything at all. But I mean, like I said before, people aren't stupid. I think it's pretty clear that a lot of people knew that things were happening. And like I said, you have to remember, it's not just me. A lot of people have told me that they have their own, you know, grievances with him. But for the people who did know about this, thank you for being there for me through all of this and supporting me and cheering me on. And there were a lot of people as well who, even though they didn't know anything, without asking any questions, they still were very kind and supportive, and I will always remember that for the rest of my life. I also want to say, just so people know, that I'm not just trying to like put this out there and then, you know, I am already in the process of filing a restraining order on him in both Texas and California. And I also wanted to say that I would not be surprised if he tries to sue me for this stream that I did today and for coming out about him. Not because he thinks that he would win, but for PR reasons,
Yeah,
like a
definitely
slap lawsuit.
Yeah. It'll definitely
It'd be interesting if that happened.
It'll definitely give him a boost in viewership. Trying to make it out to be like some type of a Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard 2 type of situation, which is further from the truth. But that's what he's trying to. That's what he might possibly do. But yeah, that's probably the route he's gonna go.
And I wouldn't be opposed to people finding out more of the truth and things that I didn't even talk about today, and what else he's been lying about. And I'm sure there's also plenty of things that even I don't know about. And
there's gonna be more. I know there's gonna be more. There's also a reply video or a reply stream that Mizkif did. I think it was like the next day, so like the day after this was put out. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I mean, she's talking about, you know, a bunch of pretty much just ending it. But we're gonna look at the Mizkif video tomorrow. Right now, I mean, I took a whole extra hour on this than I anticipated. Well, not that I anticipated it, but I was gonna watch the video, the Mizkif response video, but yeah, I'm already at 2 hours and 40 minutes right now. So I'm gonna end stream right now. I would raid out, but I don't know. I don't really feel like raiding out. But to the people that came in, that viewed, Yuki, thank you. Marceline, thank you. Anybody else that came in, I appreciate y'all. Yeah, ads. No, I'm not gonna snooze it because I'm ending stream. But catch it all tomorrow on the Ganzo Effect, part 2 of the Emiru Mizkif allegations story.
It's the Ganzo Effect.
And I'll see you tomorrow.